Okay, let's see if this is working now, because it doesn't seem to want to be working for me on my phone, where I keep track of what everybody is saying. But hopefully you can all hear me, because it seems to be working right, and now that I've reloaded, it seems to be okay. I apologize for all of the wow, English. I apologize for all of the technical difficulties at the start of the stream. We are going to play Orwell Ignorance's Strength again. Last time I streamed, I finished this. I got to the ending. I did not like the ending that I got. So, because the ending that I got was Anne preferred my advisor being an absolute bitch and basically saying that what she wanted was the way things were going to go, and I didn't like that. But I felt at the time I didn't really have any other options, and so I continued with where I was going with the story, and it ended with Raban, the blog writer, making a podcast and admitting the truth that he did not save the children as had been told, but that he was literally the only survivor. And at the end of the podcast, he took his own life by shooting himself. And that was where it ended, basically. I didn't like that ending. So we need to redo this, because I figured out afterwards that I forgot to look up anything about Anne Preferred through her call sign. So we're going to kind of do a speed run. I'm not going to read everything the way I was reading it before, because most of the stuff I've read on a previous stream. I will probably kind of explain a little bit about it here and there, and I will definitely read out what Anne Preferred is saying, just because she's a bitch and she needs to be taken care of. But it's not probably going to take too terribly long to get through this, and then we'll probably jump into some other game. I'm not entirely certain yet. And before my stream glitched and apparently disconnected entirely, no, it hurts. I'm so glad you were in here, and I hope you're still here. I am sorry about the issues and the stream ending and everything. And maybe this time through we'll go through and take a chance to see if we can get some other stories from the influencer thing. And hi, Pastel, how are you? You're back again, just in time. We have need of you. Raban Vart nabbed us with that article on Cassart yesterday. It has gone viral, as we expected. The situation is heating up. Of course, President Cassart could not leave it at that. He filed an extradition request this very morning for Vart. Prime Minister Blaine has shifted his schedule to fly out to Triflith and meet Cassart, convince him of letting go, or else all hell will break loose. Rabban Vart might have taken a severe blow, but he is far from giving up. Instead, he fired shots. See for yourself. Alright, well, we're gonna hit all of these just because I don't like having the stars there that says, hey, you have something you need to click. And then Rabban found out about their affair, and Ilya is still asking Karen to leave Ban with him to a place called Dewhurst, but she doesn't want to. Rabban has removed everybody from working on the People's Voice. Could it be that our actions caused a bit of trouble among the ranks of the People's Voice? Good. There's a discussion and the home. And then you have the war is inevitable thing. And he has declared a state of war against the cooperation of Cassart and Blaine. I mean, he's claiming that the nation has declared war on the People's Voice, but, I mean, by declaring it that way, he is also declaring war. War, can you believe it? Who does this prick think he is? Agent, this has to end today. Vart will no longer undermine the peace in neither Parges nor the nation. If it's war he wants, we can accommodate him. We have our own arsenal, the likes of which Vart doesn't dare to dream about. When Orwell was created, the office requested a number of additional features beyond the day-to-day task of investigators. Some top-level government members objected. They had the obnoxious idea to integrate an ethical codex into Orwell, limiting its capabilities. Naturally, this would not do for us. We are the nation's wardens, and we won't be restricted by some arbitrary set of rules. See, she feels like she is above everything, and I don't like her. So we found a way, as we always do, to develop a branch of the Orwell project, the very piece of software you're using right now. Time to make use of its full potential. We will look at that in a minute. This is everybody basically saying, hey, I don't like this, I'm not working for this anymore, and him basically telling them they're all cowards. Okay. Karen has something new in her timeline. No, she doesn't. Okay. Behold the influencer, the centerpiece of our very own version of Orwell. Not even the government has a clue this thing exists. I don't like her. I don't like her. It can spread a story through social media channels efficiently and thoroughly, and I'm putting you in charge of it. First, we need the thesis, a key statement which Rabban made in his last article. There was venom behind that. I don't like her, lol. I don't. So, okay, Orwell was created with an ethical codex that basically says, hey, you can only go so far with this. And the branch that she has, the version that they've created on her side, basically has a social media thing. So you can basically take a couple of statements about something and twist that truth to fit whatever they want it to fit and make up a story to spread it virally on social media to affect someone. And she's just told me that the government doesn't even know that this exists, and that they will not allow something like an ethical codex to keep them from protecting the nation. I don't like her. I don't like how she acts. But also, And yes, and that's one of the reasons I think this is just a phenomenal game, is because it really does make you think about, you know, the way things in the real world work, and the technology we have capable and what it could do. It's a scary thought sometimes. The government dragging his family into the conflict, they should have clearly opposed Raban's actions and nothing would have happened. Well, we will counteract this to claim accordingly. Let me set that in the influencer. So, basically, you set what the thesis is. Well, here we go. Here's how this stuff works. We can't simply make up and randomly spread stuff. Instead, I need you to get me palpable information which can be used to counter Raban's statement. From pairs of data chunks that create a certain context together, I can construct a narrative which can then be spread in the influencer. So find me data chunks to construct a narrative from. With a thesis set in the influencer, new data chunks may be discovered in old documents or call transcripts. Take a look around. It's on my list of PC games I'd love to play but I'd need to play while drinking or high because my anxiety would be off the charts. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Okay, so one of the data chunks is he believes the other editors of the People's Voice to be his enemies. Raban is becoming more and more unhinged, sensing betrayal around every corner. Yes, we can use that, but not enough on its own. We need a good context to put this into. That's where he says, "You're not my wife anymore." This first one, I don't get a choice. It's gonna happen no matter what. My, why would anyone be enraged about such a bagatelle? Does it hurt when your own reality proves to be fake, Vart? Be that as it may, we can surely utilize this circumstance for our own good. First, his brother is a potential enemy. Now he wants nothing to do with his wife anymore. One could easily get the idea his family members aren't quite as important and central to Raban Vart as he claims. Let me create something out of what we've got here. Okay. We'll drive safe. Agent, the first narrative is ready to be spread through the influencer. To do so, drag it into the slot in the influencer window and confirm. Using the influencer is extensive and takes about an hour of time to complete. We'll only get very limited chances of spreading narratives today. Make sure they count. However, I should probably warn you, what's out there is out there forever, and information can be a most devastating weapon. Now, if you do the honors. Shouldn't be long, and I'll have the stream on my car's Bluetooth so I can hear it. Okay, sounds good. The narrative: Save Karen and Ilya, how Raban Vart is terrorizing his wife and brother after he learned of their affair. Spread. As we wait the hour for things to start popping up. Luckily, an hour in-game is nothing. Then we have reactions to, and destroy, and he's got a draft in response. The first information spread by your command alone. It's a beautiful thing, the destruction of truth, isn't it? I believe we pulled the right strings there. People have swallowed the bait, as you can see on Blabber. We had some good impact on his listener count. I have no doubt Raban won't let go so easily. I wouldn't be surprised to see an appropriate response from him soon. Perhaps you can find out what he's up to before he's actually publishing it so we can prepare our next narrative beforehand. So at this point now, we're basically going back and forth. He's going to make a draft to put an article. We're going to figure out what it is on his draft page and start searching for stuff to refute it to send out a media thing as soon as he posts his article. But people are already commenting on the way he's basically terrorizing his family, as we put, and he is just responding with, "I'd never do anything to harm my dear wife, you know nothing about my private life," so on and so forth. So it's gonna get pretty heated. And the next narrative is that he believes his family members to be loyal to him. Ambleford says his family is loyal to him. Oh please, I wonder if Raban believes himself what he writes there. In any case, let's see if we can shake up that feeling of loyalty a bit and prove Raban wrong, for himself and for the public. Agent, get me pairs of data chunks from which I can construct narratives that we can spread. Pay attention to anything we might use to put Ilya or Karen's loyalty to him in doubt. Alright. Karen, we can get into her computer. I still don't want to spread a bunch of non-truths, though, so I'm not going to do that. The administration log. He banned Ilya's phone from access, so now I can get into Karen's computer and Ilya's phone. Start with Karen. This is a thing that she put in the trash about moving to Dewhurst, but because she put it in the trash, I'm not going to do that. She doesn't want to leave Bompton. Loyal despite everything that happened. Bah, she'd be better off leaving her husband behind. Raban Vart is doomed, he will go down, and if Karen is still around at that time, so will she. Alright, let's keep going through her stuff. The wedding at Bontton City Park. Very picturesque. Maybe you can find a photo somewhere. Yep, I will. I'm gonna finish going through this stuff though. She intended to observe Raban personally after his therapy on the final report. How awfully caring of her, or maybe not. This could be useful to make Raban doubt Karen's motivation in marrying him, but we need the right context first. Information about Raban. And then we have information about Ilya, because it's his final thing. He didn't escape heroically. I don't know why I keep doing that. I should be just hitting back and not going all the way back. I know we're gonna need the Uncle Simos thing. That's the information, and then he's got a message to Karen that he hasn't sent yet, that he's going to leave for Dewhurst soon, and he wants her to come with him. And then a message with Cassie from the previous one. He wants to get away from his brother. Not surprising with a brother like that. I could make something out of this, but we need a little extra to dramatize the story more. Alright. New headline. Alright, where is her search for pictures? go. Let's get the picture of the marriage. Was this the happiest day of my life? I'm not sure I was happy, though. Was it a rushed decision? Maybe it was in hindsight. There were ups and downs, but if our marriage has brought any good, Raban and Ilya finally didn't have to endure that awful camp any longer. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. Maybe if it... Oh. Not her profile. Let's put it into the right profile. Permanent residency is granted upon marriage to a citizen for the spouse as well as family members. A questionable thing if you ask me, especially if the circumstances of that marriage were to appear shady. Alright, let's go ahead and put in the information about Raban. Raban got better all of a sudden. Something important must have happened at that time. Okay, Pastel, drive safe. He behaved reclusively and apathetically when he first got there. Considering the trauma he endured when his school got bombed, this comes as no surprise. All the way back up. Discussion of the arrival. Raban was surprised that Karen fancied him, and he needed a way to escape. And that was in 2011, and we'll go ahead and add that in there, because that'll be about the wedding. Getting out at any cost, Does the fact that Raban was able to leave the camp through marrying Karen scream sham marriage for you? Well, soon it might do just that for everyone else too. Yeah, I'm not doing that yet. We now possess one narrative we could potentially spread. However, we can only hit Raban after he has published his next article. We need to bide our time for the moment. Use that time to dig for more narratives. Get me everything that could be of use. Okay, he didn't believe that she fancied him at the beginning. He became happier and more outgoing in mid-2012, a year later. And I do believe that Karen did actually feel for him. So we're going to put the I love you on there because despite everything in the more recent affair and all of that, which Amberford had to comment on, remember it's time to strike. You're still able to dig for narratives, so you may want to do that before you spread anything. As soon as you're ready, spread the narrative that seems most promising to you and the influencer. We only get one chance here. Right now we only have one. And he's calling the medium, the government apparatus designed to control our minds, the media monsters, and about how he claims he's a tyrant to his family, and though the affair did shake it to his core, his wife and he are still on good terms, and the same accounts for his brother, and that they can't tear them apart. Optimistic and good-natured things into Ilya's. Ha, I'm sure this can be changed, she says. Contacts. in love with Karen, so we'll add that. Oh ho, what do we have here? If that isn't an affront to loyalty, I don't know what is. Their affair is one thing, but we need something to prove, to show Karen is going all in with Ilya now to disprove her loyalty as well. Well, that's not going to happen because she doesn't want to leave Bon. So I have to do the influencer thing, so we'll do the fake marriage on Raban's side. How Raban Vart of the People's Voice planned his escape from a refugee camp by seducing their therapist. And spread. Reactions to it, calling him a fraud, and how it's nobody else's business is his response. People talking about immigrants needing to go back to their country. Happy with what you have achieved. Attacking Vart's marriage was a good idea, very personal. I believe many of his followers took this to heart. Raban has taken a blow, but he is not going down yet. Speaking of which, let's check on what he's up to writing. There was a comment on Karen's timeline from her mother about the marriage and how Karen hasn't spoken with her, broke all contact with her. Draft, the big conspiracy. Blaine and Cassart are conspiring against us. Falling back into old habits, are we? Vart is trying to shift the attention to Blaine and Cassart's meeting. It's a one-of-a-kind opportunity for him to back up his conspiracy theory. Reports say there are already people gathering in front of the presidential palace where the two are meeting, attempting to stall the talks in the name of the People's Voice. We cannot let his claim go unchecked, nor the situation there might escalate. Not on our watch. If he's into conspiracies and hidden agendas, how about us playing the same game? I'm certain you can get me enough information to let me construct our own little conspiracy theory. Keep in mind we have to hit Raban Vart hard this time. Very hard. We must break his follower base. Alright, so now on to Karen, about the differences she and her mother had on her marriage with Raban. So she is the daughter of Elizabeth Levine. Against this backdrop, it's quite remarkable Karen professionally counsels refugees. Alright. Ilya has bought a one-way ticket on a train to Dewhurst. Ilya is making a run for it, it seems. Who can blame him? Why, we could, of course. Maybe he'd consider staying if the news would turn out to be against his liking. He's leaving at 5:02, so I've got 3 hours and 10 minutes. Alright. Raban just got a message from Oleg, which says that Rodka died in the bombing. What a tragedy. We knew she'd been present that day. Seems that investigator you're paired with got the Baden bombings perpetrator. I'm impressed. Okay, we're going to put a bunch of information about Oleg in here because it hints to the past, which gives us more narratives. And he was searching for shelter for his army. And did Raban provide it? That's something we could get him for. Believes the office wants to get rid of him. Nonsense. If we wanted to get rid of Oleg Bakay, we could have done so when we got the chance. But how did you learn that exactly? What did Bakay do? How did he get that out there? I figure we need to check on him once more. Good of you to report this in to me. Shouldn't have done that, fucking bitch. I don't like her. website, and she has an email saying that they need the report, the final report on her patient Nina Maternova. We're gonna go check out Karen's mother, who seems like a real winner, honestly. She makes me think of she's against immigrants and against gay marriage, and really makes me think of sort of I don't know, I think if she could build a wall she would, so she kind of makes me think of Trump. I bet Raban has no idea about Karen's entanglements with the party, nor has any one of his followers. I missed that, my bad. I clicked too quick. But Karen gets financial support from the party for what she does. And she is also against abortion, Planned Parenthood. Karen has a brother, but that's not exactly important right this moment. The interview. Karen is a kind-hearted person. Raban invited soldiers into a school. By that, Vart may have drawn fire directly to the school. Why would he consider such a thing? How mindless can you get? He deserves to go down, and so he will, by our hand. Okay, he made a deal with Oleg Bouquet to protect the school. So this is why Oleg and Raban met at the school. They had some kind of protection deal going on. It sounds extremely dumb to me. And it's not the entire truth. We know Bouquet wanted a shelter for his unit. This would let Raban look pretty bad if it were to be released, so why not go for it? Good, we have a narrative again. We cannot spread it yet, though, not before Raban publishes his article. Keep searching around. And then there's an email from David Johns to Raban again. Couldn't help but notice you seem to be under a lot of fire from all sides most recently, and even some of your most trusted followers are turning their backs. But remember what you told me, that Ilya got your parents in deep trouble and saw no way out, but here you stand anyway. I will see what I can uncover to aid you. What kind of trouble? Alright. Alright, his parents were revolutionaries. They weren't members of the FTP, were they? Raban openly criticizes Kassar all the time. I doubt we can gain any benefit from knowing his parents may have done the same thing. Oleg lived next door. Oops. And then Ilya was drafted into the Parjas army. The army of Parjas forcefully recruited a lot of men into their ranks when the conflict with the FTP erupted anew. It seems Ilya has been no exception to it. And Raban was going to try to make a deal with Oleg to get you exempted from service. This may well be the true reason Raban made that protection deal with Oleg, don't you think? Whether true or not, we could let everyone know. So we have the lousy deal option. And then Ilya messages that their parents are gone, and the soldiers came in, started hitting them, yelled that it was their punishment. Truly horrible, then again, punishment for what? Let's look at his file. He attempted to flee and was punished. He did not heroically escape. He got punished, and his parents were kidnapped as a punishment. Poor Ilya to live with such a burden. There's a powerful narrative in that. So last time when I did the army lover thing. Exempted from service or cowardly brother, learn how Ilya Varhart got his parents. So we're gonna try this one. No, I don't want to put that much. I'm sure Ilya already feels bad from that, so... Lousy deal. Former Principal Raban Vart sheltered Pargesian army in a deal to get his brother Ilya exempted from service before the building got attacked. Learn how Ilya Varhart got his parents punished for his own cowardice and his brother Raban covered for him. We're going to see what happens with the coward brother. Maybe. Oh, I can't do anything until he posts. Don't care about the new portrait. Oh, news. I didn't check the news on this. But that was all about stuff that happened before. Oleg suspects of Raban working with the office, but that is not true. Nothing new in hers, nothing new in his. Oh yes, Karen. Karen's timeline. The thing is saying that Karen broke all contact with her mother, and in another one it says that Karen supports her mother, but we're gonna go ahead and stick with the broke all contact because that came later after the interview by a few years. And considering she was marrying an immigrant, I completely understand why she broke all ties with her mother, who was against immigration and everything. With a mother like Elizabeth Levine, I cannot even imagine why. Too bad. If she would have been in contact with her mother, we might have used that against her. See, this is why I don't like Ampliford. She is a bitch. Raban published his article. The time to strike back has come. You can go on searching for more material to create narratives from, though. Please take your time. When ready, strike Raban Vart as hard as you can. We need to make this count. We're going to use his brother, because I'm curious as to what happens. Last time I was late getting anything out, and Ilya left on the train and everything. I'm going to use this just to see what happens since he's still in town. So we're going to spread the cowardly brother one and see what happens. reactions to cowardly brother. So your brother is responsible for your parents being arrested back in Parges. Your coward brother should be the one locked up in prison, not these great heroic people. The only one you should blame for this is the government. They were not the ones who ordered to arrest my parents, not my brother. Ilya is a loser and a wimp. It's all spread and done. Having Ilya's parents abducted as a punishment for his own failure was a good idea, but I doubt it was the best we could get. Good work, but not good enough. Raban is still around, and he still has a loyal follower base. So what absurdities does he dare claim this time? Losers and wimps are people who judge others by rumors they read on the internet, find their social media profiles and troll them. In other words, you. You have no right whatsoever to judge my brother or any of my family members. Can't believe that Ilya would ever keep this from us. Never thought he could be so selfish and irresponsible. Ilya is neither selfish nor irresponsible. All he is a victim of our manipulative government who are trying to bring us down. The previous one, just how Cassart and Blaine are working together. New draft about the government kills. The national government ordered the shelling of Prava Secondary. Is his new thing. We'll put that in a minute. He is at the central station. Oops, wrong thing. He's still leaving, so it doesn't really affect anything there. Nothing new in Ilya's timeline. So we'll just go ahead and put this draft in. He's blaming the nation for his own fault. Our own army attacking a school. We're the peacekeepers. It's high time to turn these things around. This has to end now. We cannot let these preposterous lies stand. We will destroy Rabanvar. You will. Now. Get me something that shows beyond any doubt that the nation isn't the one to blame here. Alright. David has been with him from the start. Johns again, you had mentioned him before. Regardless, it doesn't matter what role he had with the People's Voice. What matters is only the destruction of Raban. Alright. Ilya is making a run for it. And he's gone. Ilya's out of the equation. Not sure whether that'll make our life easier or harder. Article discussion. Ilya was lying for his brother. Wait, what exactly did Ilya lie about regarding his brother? Want to be seen as a hero. Raban doesn't. But despite this, he has profited a great deal from being considered a hero. Rabanvar is a sad joke, bereft of moral standards, and he is going down. If I have any say in it, lady, you are going down. Beautiful. David Johns got his hands on some internal documents. What? How does this person leak confidential information to Raban Bart? This is very troubling news. I'm not aware of any one of our own people with this name, though. I'll turn this David Johns into a target person you may want to investigate if you so desire. Remember, though, that Raban Bart remains the primary target. Get us something to obliterate him with. Okay, and this is something that says that, yes, the nation did bomb the school. here comes his article. We must end this. Get me a narrative. I don't have one yet. You get to wait. And that's about how the nation bombed the school. No article draft pending. Alright, let's look into David Johns so we can get that. What kind of odd call sign is that? That's not one of our agents, is it? And this is where I forgot previously to search for her call sign. Influencer persona at the office. Oh, you've got to be kidding me, right? Except of course you're not. It is one of our own people then. Unfortunately, as an influencer persona, I'm afraid David Johns isn't simply one person. Those personas are controlled by real persons in our services. Even I can't not tell you who is controlling them at this time. You must find the traitor behind David Johns. Get me their real name. Come on. Give me his PC. Good thinking. Now get me their identity so I can find them and make sure they don't undermine our work any longer. I don't like you. Back up to that. Social elite. There was one other thing I wanted to put in here where he said he'd have to disappear. Threatens to make people disappear. Alright. Message between Iris Young and her dad. But there is something else. Browser history looking up Nina, Juliet, Abraham Goldfels, Thought, Cassandra Watergate, Concerned Ones, all of that stuff from the previous game. Subject disappear. Talking about how you've been blabbering about your new job controlling David Johns and the others, despite us telling you explicitly not to do so. If you believe to be joking, you be advised we're not. In fact, we can easily make you disappear, as you put it, or other people. Meanwhile, we are keeping a protective eye on your father. May thank us later. Time to start taking this job opportunity we gave you very seriously. Don't mess up. With a picture of her dad sleeping in a chair. So, to the keep hands off about my new job. Document is encrypted. I could tell you, but you will need to make this encryption. I'm gonna put disappear in there. Alright. So this is talking about I'll actually read this one. If you can read this, it must mean the office has come for me and you're my doom. The worst decision I could possibly make was to sign up for Orwell and then post about it. I would have to make you disappear. Haha, it's so ironic I'd have to laugh out loudly if it weren't so bitter. 2 days later, I get a particular mail you may have seen, and referring to the one about her father. Sorry about the hassle with the password there. I needed to be sure you'd see what I have been doing for them, so you'd at least possibly believe me. I've been spreading hate in their name, in the name of the nation on the one, and Parges on the other. I feed their rage, and I can't get out. I don't know what she'll do to my dad if I just quit. I can't continue like this either. I don't want to. That Highness bitch Ampleford. She is the queen of lies. She might have told you she doesn't know who I am. Bah. Don't believe a word she says. She knows everything already. Why she needs you then, agent? Didn't you figure it out already? She needs only for verification only. Everything in Orwell is mandatory to be acted upon. Everything. She isn't interested in finding out the truth at all. All she is interested in is to have her own fucked up version of the truth in Orwell, so she is allowed to do whatever she desires. What's in Orwell becomes the truth. But this can be used against her. It's nearly too simple. All you need to do is lie. For me. My name is Melissa Bethany O'Brien. My call sign is Ampleford. Good luck. We're gonna put that in there. No, that is my name. Mine, you imbecile. Oh, I get it. Cooperating with Iris Young then, aren't you? Quite bold of you to trust a professional liar. This duplicitous bitch. We shouldn't have entrusted her with David Johns and the others. First she blabbers about her job, and now this. But I'm afraid you have seen enough, Agent. This is where your little adventure off track ends. If you expect me to become magically arrested now because you shifted the blame to me, no, this isn't the way things go with the office. Now back to where we were. Would you kindly take care of Urban Vart? And this is where I screwed up before, because I totally forgot that this was a possibility. So, let's go and search Ampleford's call sign. Find out about her. Head of Operation War is Peace. Oh, she doesn't like that. Take one step further down this road and I will make you disappear. Sub-Operation IPT4 is part of the larger ongoing Operation War is Peace. The objective is the permanent entrapment in conflict, and by that means the weakening of the cultural and economic society of the rival country Parjas in order to ensure peace and prosperity for the nation. The thesis of this, the initiation of public revolt against the current government is imperative to preventing re-elections in Parjas. The key to this is in turn the popular Parjesian blog, The People's Voice, which must be manipulated in order to incite more and more hateful articles against President Kassart. Since editor-in-chief Raban Vart shares a history with secret agent Oleg Bakay, Vart will be manipulated into leaking the nation's connections to the agent. An execution of Bakay as a traitor to the nation will be ordered, which is then also leaked to the People's Voice in order to incite further outrage. The agent is supposed to feel as though they failed after these events in order to encourage further investment into the case. Annotation to this, Vart has taken this bait better than expected and called Agent Bakay directly in order to threaten him. The agent was then advised to move a secondary school shelter in order to make sure that Vart gets visual evidence of Bakay being neutralized. Antithesis. The Orwell agent exploits the social environment of main subject Raban Vart in order to prevent his plan. Vart is supposed to feel sufficiently threatened, and he is expected to actively try to manipulate his followers with the most outrageous information he can possibly find on Kassart, which is also expected to be depicted in a highly manipulative and exaggerated way. Synthesis. It is expected that Prime Minister Blaine will intervene personally once tensions in Parjas rise to a certain degree. The agent shall receive full access to the influencer after this event occurs, and the Prime Minister travels to Parjas in order to assist in negotiations. The agent will be ordered to destroy Vart's reputation even further, which is expected to calm the situation down. Blaine will be credited as the cause of this alleviation and will be depicted by mainstream media as an ambassador of peace. They spelled peace wrong. They spelled it as in, like, a piece of pie. In reality, nothing of significance has changed, and Kassart will remain president as preferred by the national government. Thank agent for good work and dismiss her or him. Okay, yeah. So I can put this in here, but what happens if I upload? Okay, I think I have to put this other bit in here first. Sub-Operation IPT-4. This comes as a surprise to you, I take it. Why in the world would the nation warrant this? You're just as naive as any do-gooder. Do you have any idea what vast economic damage the rise of Parges beyond the year 2006 would have caused to the nation? We had to act, or our country would be where Parges is at now instead. Civil war, poverty, starvation. We have averted all of that for the public good. Well, of course, for the public good doesn't mean it's going to be good for anyone. The nation has to come first, always. But I'm not so dumb as to believe you would grasp what I just told you and change your course of action. You'd never listen. After all, you have been picked specifically because you thought you were in control. That the world revolves around you, Agent. Remember the aptitude test? You wanted to spy on people, like you had any right to do so. Did I pick that this time? I think I did, because I thought it would be fun. The aptitude test was never meant to check for your abilities as an agent. It was meant to check your character for manipulability. Okay, sure. So what is your next move now that you have this precious piece of information? Did you hope I would grant you to spread it with the influencer? Ha ha ha. I'm enjoying far too much you sitting on it, being unable to share it with anyone until we come for you. Well, guess what? I can share it publicly. Operation War is Peace. Let's upload it into the Perco Leaks. There we go. Perco Leaks, I see you're more clever than I anticipated. This is entirely my fault, I admit. What, did you expect me to go all, "What have you done, you fool," on you? Why would I do that? You still seem to be clinging to the faint hope that you could change a thing in this, make a difference. Your ignorance is delightful, Agent, as it is pathetic. I'll leave it to others to assess the effects of what you just did, while we take care of the cleanup. In the end, we'll win. We always do. The People's Voice is streaming live. Is there something new in here? It said there was. Okay, nothing there. All right, let's read the last announcement.
My dear followers, this is going to be my final announcement. Why? Because the truth now lies in your hands. Take a good look at what has just been revealed on Percoleaks. It has been exposed and proven, nonetheless, that the governments of both the nation and Parges are corrupt frauds, responsible blatantly for misleading and killing their own people. It's now public knowledge that these governments are conspiring in order to keep the conflict alive. A long, devastating war that has already cost so many lives. This bloodshed is unnecessary, and it's all for nothing. Nothing but the political power of a few rich, evil, and corrupt men in suits. There is only one logical course of action. I call on you. I challenge you to finally stop believing the lies coming from these corrupt leaders. Power is nothing but a common belief, and it is waning by the minute. Shake off the invisible hand on your shoulder. What becomes of the future is up to you alone. You, the people, need to shape your own truth. And to those of you who listen to me because those men pay you for it, know that your time is finally over. Because the people will rise.
like, evil villain voice. I don't know that it tells me what happens, but at least with that, it does kind of bite her in the ass. And I think that's the best I'm gonna get. Clearly, as agents of Orwell, I'm just overthrowing the government left and right, because in the first game, I forced the Secretary of Security to resign, and in this one, I basically leaked all the political play to the public. So, that is a better end, I do think, than Raban shooting himself on live podcast. That wasn't cool, and I didn't like that. So, I'm much happier with this. And we are gonna take a brief break here, because I know it's only been about an hour that I've been streaming. So, we're gonna take a brief break, and then we're gonna switch to a different game. We're probably going to switch to a game called Grimm. It's just cute and fun and deals with fairy tales, so hopefully you like that. And I will be back shortly once I get the game set up and grab something else to drink.